So I will leave it up to Jakob to just sum up what we have been hearing and talking about today.
Yes, thank you. So I was given this task of trying to wrap things up, and I'll do my very best. And I apologize in advance for all the simplifying that I have to do. I mean, that's kind of in the task, I think. I also think I should just give a brief presentation of myself, just to kind of clarify or a disclaimer about the, the perspective I have, because I have a background many years ago in philosophy. I've been working in health sciences in different ways, in administration, management, and teaching and development. And then for the past year, I've had the privilege, and I think that is really a privilege, of working with research ethics in a very real world, practical manner, because I work full-time on a day-to-day basis with the Research Ethics Committee here at University of Southern Denmark, together with Kirsten, who is chair of this committee, and together with the other scientific faculty that are part of this committee. So we are trying to make ends meet, making the right decisions when researchers want their projects to be approved. And for me, that's a lot of communication, mitigation, mediating, as I said, getting things together. And it's very practical, actually. So that's my point of view, where I see things from. And I think I would start with a question, actually, when I'm trying to wrap things up, with a question that was asked by and answered by one of the first speakers, Virginia. She asked whether artificial intelligence is business as usual or magic. Well, that's, I mean, if it's a choice between magic and business as usual, I guess it's business as usual. And I think it's fair to say that all of the speakers today have actually said in different ways that it is more or less business as usual. I know it's not business as usual, but it is more business as usual than it is magic. It's business as usual in the way that artificial intelligence is just yet another technology. It's made by man, humans. Its use is being decided by humans. It's being assessed by humans, like any other technologies. So it's not something completely new. I think this is a little bit like when social media was introduced many years ago. There was also a discussion whether this is a whole new form of communication. Well, I mean, it's communication. We've been communicating for many, many thousands of years, and this is not something completely new. It's not magic. It's communication, but still, of course, there are differences. So that's when the questions and the answers get more tricky, I guess, because what are then the differences? One thing is about the technology. Artificial intelligence being technology, just technology. The basic questions to artificial intelligence as a technology are the same questions as to any other technology. That also goes for the ethics questions. That's also, I mean, it's the same old questions that we have, asked ourselves for many years. We don't have the answers, but it's the same questions. It's about autonomy. It's about doing good. It's about trying not to do more harm than necessary. It's about transparency and so on. It's about values. So it's actually the same questions, I think. So the interesting question is, what are the differences? And well, no. The question is not whether it's artificial, whether it's the same as usual or if it's magic. The question is about what are then the pros and cons for artificial intelligence. And I think all of the presenters today have actually, or almost all, have actually talked for the use of artificial intelligence. The question is whether it's really a question, actually. I mean, there's so much demand for diagnosis and choosing the right treatment and so on. And there's so sparse supply of radiologists, for instance. So that's why Jakob Rauslund said that he supposed that artificial intelligence will be his new best friend, because I mean, he needs it. We all need it. So it's not really a question of whether we should have it or not. It's so impressive. Its efficiency is so impressive. It can, do analysis, sheer number of analysis it can make, it, the number of pictures it can analyze and the number of cases it can treat. It's just, I mean, it's so impressive, and that's the reasons why it's so compelling for us to use it. And so what about the bad things? Now, there's a whole list, and I'm not sure I can remember all the bad things I've, listed during this day. I think the seductiveness of the seductiveness is also one of the risks of this artificial intelligence. So we're being blinded by the efficiency, or by the ability to have very high sensitivity and specificity. So we think that must be a good technology, and then we don't see all the downsides. We don't see the unfair biases that may be built into the algorithm. Also, it's so, transparency is a value, but I think, well, to me at least, artificial intelligence is very untransparent. It's almost incomprehensible. When you did your presentation, it was like, many times I've seen statisticians talk about statistics. And to a certain point, I follow them. I mean, and I think, oh, this, it goes good. It's fine. And there are some examples with the, the cat and the elephant, and I understand that. So I can also be, seduced by these models. I can be led to believe that I actually understand something here, but I don't understand it. I don't know what's going on. I can understand your pictures, but I don't really understand what's going on. So this is a problem, of course, that we may be seduced to adopt technologies that we don't really understand. And then again, is this really different for artificial intelligence as opposed to other technologies? I mean, how many of you do know how your computer functions, or your car? I mean, I have some understanding of my car, but you don't have to dig very deep, then I don't really understand what's going on. Why does the petrol explode? I mean, because, well, I don't know really. So I don't know if there's really a difference there. Then, of course, the commercial interests, they are not necessarily bad, but they may have some other interests, and what are in the interest of the society, or for me as an individual. The risk of privacy breach, of course, either due to bad intentions by some evil political system. That could be the case, or it could be the case of simply a badly constructed algorithm, or too few data was a risk that you mentioned. If you have too few data, then it will be able to discern one individual from another, and that's a risk. So a plethora of, things that could go wrong. And then, in a way, I think we're back to the starting point, the question that Virginia asked, whether this is something totally new or not. It's not something totally new. The questions are the same. I think the challenge for you and me and everybody else working with research ethics is actually the same, trying to find the right balance between what researchers want for their own interest and for the interest of, for the good of society and for the individuals, and then the risks that are inherent. I think, that's kind of the same questions. I think I've learned a lot today about what artificial intelligence is and why we should be especially observant about what's going on here. But, I didn't really get any answers to those very basic questions, because I don't think there are any clear answers. Is this in all other research ethics questions that we have to look at the details and try to keep an eye on the inherent values and understand what's going on, weigh things, and then come to a sensible, common sense based really solution. I think that's my take home message, at least. So I think that's it for me.
I think you should be allowed to say that into the microphone. Here you are.
Yes. So what I thought about deep learning in the morning, it is really as simple as I said.
It's about I know.
Yeah, it's just about how to divide the data in multiple parts with these hyperplanes. That's what it does. And when I say it in a geometric form, it is so much easier for humans to get it rather than actually showing the equations. So that's why you feel that you understand. So this is, and there's nothing more to it. It's really about figuring out where you bet the lines. That's it.
Thank you. Are there more questions or comments? It doesn't seem so, and I cannot see anything in the chat. So before I hand over the microphone to Rita to end the meeting, I would just like to thank all of you for being part of this experiment, this hybrid conference that we have had today, and especially for being so patient about our technical problems. So Rita, would you like to end the meeting? Yeah, well, you're the chair.
Yes, yes. And I'm going to enjoy it. That is the last time I have to be a chair for this. So I have a new chair next year. So thank you so much. I thought this was actually an extremely interesting conference. We thought it would be, but it was. And I think it lived up to the values that we have in the committee, because there was discussion across kind of border from different kinds of aspects. And lots of discussion. Thank you so much. This was really rewarding. And please, if you are interested in this kind of topics, we will have different kinds of topics from the Nordic Committee of Bioethics, but please follow our website and you will see there will be in the spring, there will be coming a reflections on COVID-19. So we're going to sum up things which we already had in the webinars and bring in some new aspects. And things on climate change coming along. So please follow our website and you will see what's coming, and we will continue this hybrid meetings as far as that's what we decided. So people would have a chance to follow up also online. Thank you to Kirsten, thank you to everybody. Let's close the meeting.